And the title of 2008 Mr. Olympia, you can take it to Dexter Jackson!
Dude, you were grinding for so long.
And then I lost to Dexter. Now, I never questioned, he deserved to win, you know, but I always said, like, I gave the title to him, right? I walked away, and then I was backstage like, damn, like, what do I do? And it was tough. It was tough. I mean, trying to figure out your identity, right?
I saw you backstage, and I hate to use the word broken, but you were definitely just shattered. You were just devastated because you just won twice, because I just felt like, holy shit, this guy just took his whole life and chased the best bodybuilder on the planet, Ronnie Coleman, in the history of the planet and the history of the sport. And now he had a tough run, you know, and then you go in and you lose to Dex. And I'm sure nobody saw that coming.
You know, each year he wasn't getting much better than he was the previous year, so he was getting worse and worse.
And that was the talk before the show. If I wasn't at my best, I would lose.
And I just knew I could beat him that show. I knew he wasn't going to be on.
And you don't show much emotion because it's just who you are, but I could just tell the energy was taken away from you.
It seemed that Jay, it was over for Jay.
What I realized, my body wasn't getting better, right? So that's when you're really like, after the show, not even at backstage, you're just like, wow, okay, what are people gonna think? What's my legacy?
Think about where you were at that time too, which is really, really crazy, was that, you know, I remember Muscle Time, right, was the big, and they had basically said that you wouldn't be in the top 5 because of kind of your, like, on the way out. And I remember it affected you because you kept bringing it up.
They weren't confident that I was going to come back. And I mean, I lost support of everyone, you know, people not believing in you. I was the victim of that. Everyone gave up on me.
I need to go out and defeat, you know, still said I wanted to get free. So.
The question was, what's next? How do you beat that? I'm like, listen, I'm coming back. Make another run at this thing.
It was like end of December, and you said, I want to come out and train with you.
A lot of my career from the rise of second, like a lot of people around me, like, you're going to win, you're going to win, you're going to win. So it was kind of nice to go into that show. It gave me more drive and focus and determination to be better because we didn't know what the body was going to unfold like. We both never realized. And I've been there, I've fallen down, and I'm coming back to once again stand there alone. And there's a lot of people right now that doubt that I'm going to come back to do that. But there was a lot of people in the beginning that doubted when I was slashed second. I feel I give everything I can to the sport, and that's what they'll see once again in 2009.
But you didn't give up. That was the thing. You didn't give up. You went in and you said, I'm going to do this again.
Next year there's going to be another round, and we'll see what happens then.
You started to build your confidence as we got closer.
You know, I just went like guns blazing.
It was all that hard work, everything else, and there was so much buildup and so much pressure.
Coming, man.
everyone's like, Jay's never going to come back. Even my own sponsors, some of them were like, I mean, even Flex turned against me, you know, Alan Donnelly, and like they weren't confident I was going to come back. And I had a chip on my shoulder about that. I mean, I lost support of everyone. You know, when you talk about someone's downside and, you know, people not believing in you, I was the victim of that. You know, everyone gave up on me except, you know, some of my sponsors and the people that were close to me that saw the progression over the time. Winning was a curse for me. Because I got satisfied very easily. Underdog worked better for me.
It did.
Always.
Spent 6 years trying to win that title and take it from Ronnie, and it only took him 2 years to give it back. And no one in the history of this contest has ever lost the contest, come back and reclaimed the Sandow Trophy, and that's what Jay's trying to do.
Potentially could still win the contest if he got in the best shape he's ever been in. But he hasn't done that for a few years, and you have to ask why he hasn't done that.
Yeah, you looked at the picture and you said to me, who's that? That was a very exciting point because everybody was just waiting, literally on the edge of their seats.
You don't realize what you have until it's gone.
Because I remember hearing gasps in the audience.
That preparation, being the underdog again, worse than ever. Like, I had never been that much of an underdog. Just in awe. Like, when I took my clothes off and everyone's like, holy, you know, this isn't the same guy.
Show him.
I walked out on that stage that night. I mean, I knew right then, as soon as I took the step up, I said, it's over.
And then he reinvented himself in 2009. When he walked out, he just rewrote the record books with that type of physique.
This year, it's a whole different ballgame.
Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler! It's no secret, a lot of people in the industry wrote you off pretty much this past year.
Everyone wrote me off. Achievements that people say could not be done. I've done what everyone said that can't be done.
You know, that was a great feeling. I never had felt that before, even in 06. Was just so much gratifying appreciation for that body and that preparation, being the underdog again, like worse than ever.
In bodybuilding, they love you, then they hate you, then they love you again. And that's kind of what happened, but it became even so much more monumental because when you won, it was like everybody was just like, people that even didn't, quote unquote, weren't your fans before, are like, holy shit.
I want to make the improvements and be better than I ever have. I want to see change in my physique that people say that can't happen. I've always been against the odds. I've always been the guy that, you know, in the beginning they said I'd never be a pro bodybuilder, and then, you know, it turned into, once I turned professional, I was told I'd never be a good pro bodybuilder, and then, you know, I won one professional show. They said, well, you can't win the big one, and then I win the big one, and, you know, there's still always ways that people try to tear you down, but I know what physique that I want to build. I know what goals I want to accomplish.